What is good, boys and girls, and welcome back to Quackers TV. With me, your South London boy himself, finally, I know you've been waiting for it, taking on the challenge of bringing Crystal Palace back to the top. Today I'm going to be showing you how to take Crystal Palace from that perennial bottom to mid-tier team all the way to the Premier League in just 2 short seasons. I've played every FIFA there has ever been, so believe me when I say you can trust that I'm an expert, I am basically a Sado who needs to go and touch some grass level. Eze, superstar, but please make sure you sort out that release clause. Alton Edward, we all know about him. He is the man who is hopefully going to take us on to the greatest of heights, Wilfried Zaha, the hometown boy himself. And next up, Elise, as you saw, we moved Eze to Cam, which means he's currently in an Elise spot, so we're going to move him to right wing where he can take advantage of that left foot cutting inside. But then on to the more experienced pair at the back. We have Joachim Anderson, 25 years old, 77 rated, absolute brick wall. And next to him, the young whippersnapper, Mark Guehi. They are our key players. Obviously, there is Conor Gallagher, who is absolutely tearing it up at the moment, but he is only on loan, so you're going to have to make a choice early on. With the transfers, we have a lot of young players and a lot of 30-year-olds who are slightly higher rated. With the way simulations work, they're going to take those young players' spots, so they have to get out the door. If you're going to do Palace as well, make sure to check out your youth academy, please. It's Palace after all. Who hasn't come from South London? As I promised, we did sell a lot of the older players, left us with 50 million, which we're going to spend bringing in Conor Gallagher, 75 rated with 83 potential, but we're going to get him so much game time, we're going to hope that man goes straight to the moon. Pre-warning though, if you're going to use Gallagher, he does have one of the absolutely ugliest player faces I've ever seen. But with Gallagher, he needs a partner. If you're going to go for the younger options, the likes of Ollie Skip, Ricky Pugh, Pape Gueye or Gedson Fernandez, feel free. But on my Norwich save, I signed a lot of young players, so I don't want people just thinking I'm always going for the default. There's also the likes of Zeka, who's got 12 months left on his contract, so you know you can get a good deal on him. 77 rated, already 26. That man can grow. Lewis Miller, 78 rated, maybe bit more pricey, or the man I'm going to go for, Luis Romo, 77 rated at 26, 12 months left on his contract, meaning we can get ourselves an absolute bargain. You might even be able to get him for cheaper than I just did. Luis Romo is my shout for signing of the episode already, and I only make 4 of them, so you know that's going to be a big deal. Right back though, as Mr. Quackers is going to tell you a bit later on, Joe Ward and Nathaniel Klein, 74 rated, both in their late or early 30s. It's not really going to hit the age range or the benchmark we're aiming for. So the likes of Matty Cash, Joker Mike, Rosier, absolute baller this FIFA, could take that role. Matty Cash is the one we go for. So to explain it all to you, here is your first episode of Class with Mr. Quackers. So, boys and girls, welcome to the very first lesson of Class with Mr. Quackers. And don't worry, I will not nonce on any of you. Firstly though, what did we do with the team today? We had a Palace team with a bit of a mad age gap. We had players 30 plus. Ward, Tompkins, Benteke, Grieta. We didn't sell all of them, we got rid of some of them, because to be honest, they're not going to have much resale value for us. They're not going to grow anymore, and then just going to end up being dead weight we're going to have to replace later on and waste money on later on that we could be spending on improving the squad with truly world-class players. Obviously Palace can't aim for the stars, they can't aim for Haalands and Mbappes yet. But when we can do that, we don't want to have to waste 10, 15, 20 million on replacing a Tompkins, a Kuyate or Milivojevic. So, the likes of Tompkins, Schlupp, they did go. That left us with some gaps, but also left us with opportunities. The likes of Elise and Eze now fitting perfectly in the squad. Guehi, Tompkins, because of how simulations worked, Tompkins would have been one playing over him. We got rid of Tompkins so that Guehi can get as much football as possible. Tyrick Mitchell, 73 rated, we could have gotten someone else for him, but if we want that 73 rated to get up to the 80s, he again needs to get as much team football as possible. So then we had, obviously, we'd filled some points, but we still had weak points at right back. Centre mid I wouldn't call a weak point, but similarly, all of our centre mids, they were ageing, they'd already peaked, and if we were going to push Palace on from that mid to bottom tier, like they're obviously aiming for, we had to do what they've already done and pile on young players or players who are going to reach greater heights and can carry that on with them. So, first up, right back, we had Joel Ward, we had Nathaniel Clyne, two absolute cult heroes in South London. Nathaniel Clyne was the idol, he was like every Palace training pitch when I was growing up. But, both 74 rated, both old, both no resale value. Matty Cash on the other hand, young, higher rated, and gonna grow into a much better player. Gallagher, young, low rated, lower than Milivojevic, lower than Karte, but he's gonna reach greater heights than them. Then we added the experience in, because we don't want to go full youth over and over again, because it just gets a bit boring. Luis Romo had 12 months left on his contract. 77 rated, you're going to say he's 26 though, Quackers. Go back and watch my Norwich save. Norman, who was 25 or 26, went up 10 ratings still by the end of it. If Luis Romo can reach those heights for 11 million, that is a bargain. Again, Eze, Elise, the superstars, Edward, Guehi, Mitchell, young players. Then let me just change colour. We've got Guaita, we've got Anderson, we've got Romo, we've got Zaha, we've got Edward. Experienced players who can help them grow and make sure we don't fall down the leagues whilst we're waiting for them to do it. So, boys and girls, that is your first ever lesson with Mr. Quackers. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you come back tomorrow for more. Now, it's time for us to see how our boys do. So first of all, sorry for the issues with picture quality there. I had to edit that with my beautiful penmanship straight from the computer. So obviously the quality is not as good as the recording I do on PlayStation. But 13th place. Our target was mid-table, so we are there or thereabouts. But as you're about to see, the team, they are growing. Just like my Norwich save. They're getting ready for that big second half push. Because trust me, don't panic if your first half of the season doesn't go great. Players grow, players get better. This is what we started with. You're about to see how we went from the old folks home to me literally getting reported for noncery. Because those young boys are looking hella beautiful right now. And they are looking like they're in 8th place. 8th by the end of the season. All you have to do is stay strong. Trust in the process. Because players grow. Edouard, Elise, Eze growing huge amounts. The only player to go down, Vincenzo Greater, and don't worry, I promise you, we will deal with that. So, you saw Greater went down. We can't really be having that. If you do have that upper budget, about the 40-50 million mark, Una, Simon, Livakovic, you cannot go wrong. If you're looking for the younger options, Ilian Meslier, Dean Henderson, might be a bit unhappy with lack of game time, or the nice cheap option, the good stopgap, Bernd Leno, 12 months left on his contract. Not only can you get a bargain with Bernd Leno, it also should leave you room to get another signing. Just 21 million he cost for an 83-year-old keeper who can probably reach about 84 or 86. As you can see, Tyrick Mitchell, the only really low rated player there. Boys and girls, it's time to skip forward a whole year to see how they do. The reason this is going to be completely unedited, by the way, will become clear in a second. But my aim when I did this was probably about 6th to 8th. You want to conciliate, that's not even a word, consolidate. But to my shock, Leicester City, who are you? Yes, somehow they won the league. In just 2 seasons, We didn't score much. I guess we didn't concede much. You're going to think that team must have grown huge. No, Edward at 86, the only particularly high rated player there. The growth, to be fair on some players, was absolutely exponential. But this is the randomness of the simulator. And to be fair, it does actually show exactly what I want to say as my next point. Don't take me step for step as my guide. I am letting you see players who can hopefully make life easier for you. It's letting you see a tactic that allows you to see how you fit all of your best players in. Now we're going to skip 5 years in the future. And you look at the team. The top looking very strong. But at the back it's looking about as flat as a pancake. And it was pretty flat and deflating when you saw we didn't actually get back into the Champions League after we won it that second time. And again, a lot of you are going to be thinking as you see the stats here of the players, oh, you flopped then, you failed. You've got to remember, after the second season, I didn't make another signing. I had 3 budgets of over 100 million. I didn't spend any of that. You could get Barella, Chiesa, Hakimi, Davis. You can get those great players to build your team even further. The point of this is just to see a couple players you can build in to build depth at Palace, and then how the rest of the team are going to grow, so you can see which players am I going to want to sell on, which players might just become rotation options, which players do I need to make sure get as much game time as possible. So the likes of Eze, Elise and Edward, you need to get those men game time. But Gallagher, Mitchell, Gray, Anderson, they all kind of peaked out very early. They would either be Deadwood you'd sell on or rotation options if you really want to push this team on from that first win. But for now, boys and girls, I hope this was of help to at least some of you. You've been an absolutely lovely audience. Peace.